Hey guys, Insight for Nerds here. We have JTH back. He's healed, right?
I was already not sick anymore. Shut up. I
they,
started doing videos.
they wanted to wish you a happy get well day.
Oh yeah.
So he wanted to do power like weekly rankings for the teams when we first started, but I was so busy, so I couldn't exactly set it up. So I had some free time today, so I decided to do it. So we'll do it with EU since we're kind of known for EU right now instead of North America. Because EU's better. Haha. All right. So this is how the teams we think will be ranked at the end of week 6 after day 2. And we'll still do our regular predictions and stuff like that, but we'll see how they're going to pan out. So this is where we're going to put G2 is still undoubtedly the best team in my own personal opinion. Yes, they did lose to Origin, but as they said weeks leading up to this loss that they were really not taking it that seriously. So we're gonna see them taking it a lot more seriously now. So I think that they'll just win even more games in even in a different fashion as well. But that can be a thing debatable. He wanted to put Splice above SK Gaming.
Very funny. Is that unbelievable?
I mean, looking at the strength of schedule for some of these teams, it's getting worse or better because Misfits and Fnatic at the end of the week, by the way we're ranking them, yuck, oh my god, words are gonna be ending around 7th and 8th. So, do you think that's possible?
For who?
Misfits and Fnatic.
I don't think Misfits or Fnatic, and I think that by the end of the season they're going to be overtaken by both. They're going to overtake both SK Gaming and Splice because I don't think Splice's schedule is like honestly clever enough to keep going past what I would say are the middle tier teams. Like just trying to stall out towards late game and try to rely on these late game team fighting like strategy is not going to work out throughout the entire year. I think it's going to get figured out, and SK Gaming is just too weak around the map besides jungle. So I don't think they're going to keep up this level of play either. And I think both of these teams will probably fall out of playoffs by the end of the season.
Well, let's look at their strength of schedule for, you said, SK Gaming and Splice. So Splice, they play first and they go against Vitality, and then the next day they go up against Rogue. So at worst, they're going to go 1-1. But Rogue, how do you feel about them the way they looked in their first win against Misfits?
I mean, I do think they look a lot stronger with these replacements. I think that like I don't think that Prophet was a problem on this team, but Finn has not been a terrible replacement. And 100% Vander's been a what's it called? Vander's been a step up. So I'm not too hungover about these pickups. I do think they probably should have got rid of HeQ if anybody, but that's still not really that bad a situation. So I think by like in terms of just strength, I do think Rogue has definitely stepped it up. I think they're on point or at least very close to XL's level at this point. Maybe not to the same extent, but I also think that do I think why are we talking about Rogue again?
Oh, because for Splice's strength of schedule.
Are they playing? Okay, so yeah, I mean, honestly, I do think Rogue is a lot stronger than they were before the replacements, but I don't think they're strong enough to take on pretty much anybody besides maybe the bottom 4 teams. So
Ooh. I think against Vitality, that was the very first time I think I've actually seen them play a proactive early game in years, and they still failed at it. So,
years.
no, yeah, I've rarely ever seen them play early game focus composition and actually succeed in pulling it off. Well, not you can't pull it off if you lose, but you know, Rogue. I don't know if they'll actually see. That's the thing. You could say that they're gonna beat Rogue, but that's like saying Rogue is gonna go like 1-18 or no 1-17. But I think at worst they're going 1-1 with the strength of schedule. You said SK Gaming. SK have to face Misfits and SK have to face Schalke. So SK have actually looked decent with the new patch, but do you think it's still because other people are just underperforming?
I've never even said that about them. I do think that the proactive early game is really strong during the beginning parts of the season. This is still the like around the first half of the season, I guess. First half of the split. We did kind of pass over that threshold, but like SK Gaming is not a step up from Misfits. If anything, I do think that Misfits is underperforming, but they're not a substantial amount better than them because I do like the mo like all around the map, I think that SK Gaming is insanely weak. Selfmade is pretty much the only capable player on this team, I would say. I think everybody else is just able to hold their own for the most part, but against pretty much anybody else, I don't think they have the capabilities of taking it to the next level unless they get some like replacements in this team. But Misfits is just underperforming as it stands right now. I think they're probably going to lose this game, actually. I don't see Misfits being that much worse because with the changes in ADC meta on top of the fact, I think SK Gaming's playing better right now, but I think the stylistic matchup between these two teams is kind of bad for them because SK Gaming's probably weakest point in the team right now is going to be their bot lane.
Oh gosh,
their bot lane, and Misfits Gaming's strongest point is probably their bot lane. And I think that Fevin again is still gonna, at the very least, be better than what's it called, Pyrian. So I think SK Gaming actually goes 0-2 this week.
Ooh, prediction, God. Oh God, there's girls. Okay.
Stop being.
Okay. Girls want to talk to me. Okay, so they also have to face Schalke, in which you think that is a definite loss.
I think that's most definitely a loss. I don't see them I don't see them in any situation taking advantage of any point in this game. Like, I don't think any one of their players is a step up from Schalke's. Even Selfmade, I think he's playing better this year, but is not a clear definitive step up from Memento. So,
yeah, at worst points, they're even.
Yeah, I could see them. I could see this. I don't see this game going pretty much in any way in favor of SK Gaming. So, I think they're going to go 2.
And then you look at the team we have toward the top of the standings, guys. We have Schalke actually overtaking Vitality. I had Vitality over them, but he's like, no, Schalke hype train, you put it down or I kick you off the channel, right? No?
No, I didn't say that.
See? Vitality have to face Splice, and Vitality have to face Fnatic. Easy matchups for them? Should be?
Nah, Schalke's... if we're talking about in terms of just weekly schedule, who's gonna have a weaker schedule this week? Let's see.
Schalke face G2 and SK. Vitality face Fnatic and Splice.
I'll give it to them. They probably have an easier week this week, and that's probably going to be the definitive how they're going to overtake Schalke this week. But I don't think they're the stronger team, in most any aspect. I do think they have the aggressive. Again, they have a really strong mid laner.
Yeah.
They have an extremely strong top laner, but if we're talking about in terms of just who I think is the stronger team, I still think I'd have to give the edge to Schalke, but
for this 1 week, I'll let you have the Schalke hype train at second. This is the only week I'll let you have it.
You're so nice.
I know. Then G2 is still coming in at first, but G2 get their, I would say, is going to get tested again because they have to play Excel. Excel was one of the first teams to actually give them a rough game, and then you have Schalke, who they dismantled. So every team has grown since then, or has gotten worse in Excel's case. So it's really interesting to see where they're going to pan out. I think G2 is going to come back a lot stronger this week, but it's going to have to start by beating Schalke. That's the first game, and Schalke looked absolutely starstruck that they lost to Origin. I think that loss was so surprising to them. I think they're going to come out in this game swinging, in my own personal opinion, because no one really expected Mithy to play that well. I think a lot of people didn't.
You're talking about G2 lost to Origin, right?
Well, G2 and Schalke both lost to Origin. Isn't that interesting?
When did Schalke lost to him a while ago, though? I don't think.
No, it was the week. Wasn't it the week before? Yeah, it was.
Last week was they played Rogue and G2. You're talking about 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, both of them lost. It's really interesting. Both of them lost to Origin, and they both lost kind of the same way. Mithy and Nukeduck just roaming, taking over the map. So I think this will pretty much definitively tell by this week who is the first and best team. Because if Schalke can beat G2, then I don't think they're clearly above a lot of the other teams except for Vitality and Schalke. But I think that Schalke could be in the conversation for the best team in EU, actually.
I'd like to imagine that, but I don't see G2 losing that spot as it stands. Their solo laners are quite a bit too strong. I think their weakest point is going to be macro. I don't think they're a smart team in general, but they make up for a lot of their weaknesses in just laning prowess. It's gonna be again, I think it's gonna not matter in the EU scene because I don't think anybody in the EU scene can really affect their playstyle that much. But when it comes to the international stage, I do think they're going to get punished a bit because they're not going to match up well against like Griffin and all those teams.
True. And then we're going to get flamed if we don't talk about these guys is Fnatic. Now, we have Fnatic sitting at the end of the week. End of the week power rankings is at 7th. So, looking at their strength of schedule, Fnatic play Origin, who actually beat them in the first week, I think, when they played mid-Vayne against Galio. And then Vitality and Fnatic, which is always really spicy matchup, actually. So, which one which match is Fnatic most likely could win?
Most likely can win?
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna in terms of just who they. I don't think they're gonna win either one of these games. Honestly, both of these teams look extremely strong in comparison. I mean, like again, I think that Fnatic is not playing to their level that they should be. I've seen Nemesis play well. I've seen all of them play well, like a decent amount, and I think this meta kind of suits them because it gives a lot of the power back to Reckless. But until we see all of these players just step it up, I don't see them beating either one of these teams, who I think are just playing a step above them right now. So I think they're probably going to go with 2 because for sure they're not beating Vitality. I don't think, and Origin right now, even though I do think they have weaker laners in terms of just like the top teams, they're an extremely smart team and they play to their strengths, and they like once they get an advantage, they know how to take advantage of it. So I'd say Origin probably smashes them too.
Even with but this time around they're not going to have that. I mean, they might have a counter pick for something, but this time around they're not going to have the Galio to kind of punish for their win. This time they're going to have to win with something completely different.
They're going to have to win with something completely different.
Yeah, because last time they took advantage of Nemesis not knowing how to play against Vayne, against Galio, and then that was pretty much how they lost the game. This time around, I mean, we saw Nukeduck pull out Zed against Caps, but theoretically, people forget he did that against G2 last year as well. So, I mean, that wasn't really surprised. He played Zed absolutely incredible. But do you think that they have any picks that they're gonna show off more? Because Nukeduck's champion pool is very large, but how far is he gonna really dig into that until that is gonna be a problem for their overall team comp?
I mean, I don't think anything is going to be a problem because just because he has a big champion pool doesn't mean like he's just going to be able to play whatever fits the team comp. So that just means their team comps can be more versatile. I don't think it's ever going to be going to the extent where I would say that it's going to be a detriment, because there's no situation where a large champion pool can be a negative aspect.
True. And is there anything else that you think we forgot?
It's a big toss up between how good I think XL is, honestly, because I think that Expect might actually be in contention for the best top laner in the league right now, in my opinion. I really do.
You have a habit of overrating people.
Very possible. But I think he's been playing. If you've watched his games, he's played really well. He's been by far and away the best player on this team. So I don't think there's really a situation where I could say that he's not at the very least like competent enough to say he is. I mean, he's played really well against the top tier top laners. I don't think he's the singular best, but I do think he's very much towards the top of the standings. I'd like to see him on a better team because XL is just not a team he should be on. He's just a little too good. Let's see their
schedule. They get their rematch against G2 on Saturday, and they get to face off against Rogue again. So at worst, they're gonna probably go 1-1. At worst, because Rogue theoretically, with their new additions, could beat them, but that's counting that kick. I mean, Senkuk's special is a terrible mid lane matchup. You have the bot lane, which is, how would you even rate Vander and Hikyu?
I think Vander's really playing extremely well, but Hikyu is Hikyu, so it doesn't matter. You'll never make Hikyu a good player. I don't care how many kills he gets. He's just probably the singular worst ADC in the entire West, not just the EU scene.
Like XL just have stronger players in key roles. I mean, stronger, like Kasing and Vander are pretty great supports.
I think they're both pretty equalized right there.
Yeah, and then you have Cage Roll.
But the problem is going to be both of their weaknesses are kind of equalized, because although I think Jessica is pretty terrible, it's definitely
a step above Hikyu.
It's a step above, slightly above Hikyu, so it doesn't matter. Senkuk's versus
Special? Yeah, Special.
I think Exile might be playing.
Thank God.
No, Exile played last time, so.
Wait, no, it was Special for both days, right?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
I don't believe you.
Well, then go check.
But I mean, either way, they should probably just play Exile, because Special is garbage. Special is bad, but you have how it's weird because they have Keijo and Expect, who are definitely the carries of the team, but that's not really that's a problem because two of their carries can kind of get equalized because like Exile has 3 carries, 4 carries potentially if you add in Exile, Kasing, Expect, and Keijo. Rogue have Kikis and Vander.
Wait, did they play Vitality last week?
Yeah, I think they did.
Was it last week?
Exile played Splice and they played Origin.
No, okay. I thought Vitality was last week for some reason. Okay, Special will play both days then.
And what did you think of him?
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's a step above anybody. So I'm not really too hyped about it. I don't see a reason. Like, he was really good on Zoe, but it wasn't, like, incredible. I still think Expect pretty much carried that game, which kind of made him look a little better.
Anybody can play good on Zoe. She's broken.
No, that's not true. She's mostly skill shot oriented. She definitely has an amount of like whatever it's called, skill that you have to possess to play her. I mean, specials not anything special again, but
you were trying to make a pun there, and I caught you.
You caught me. So I don't think he's a step. Like again, Exile wasn't the problem of this team. I don't think he was incredibly good, but he was not like somebody that I think should have been replaced in comparison to Jessica. Jessica has been a very large amount, like he's been very largely underperforming. Yeah, again, he's been one of the worst players on this team. Cageroll's been he's been playing pretty decent for the most part. I think he's been one of the better players on this team too. But if we're gonna see this team succeed, I really do think they need to kind of prioritize who the weakest laners are, because sometimes they draft around Jessica, and it's obviously not what should be happening.
I think that's pretty much it. This is going to be our spring split week 6 rankings for at the end of day 2, how we think the teams are going to pan out in the standings. I don't think I have anything else. Selfmade said he likes the way the new coach is working out, so that's a good thing. So maybe, with that change, that they're actually might be able to win their games. Vitality looked like they were like reinvigorized after they beat Schalke. Revitalize. See, I was trying to make a pun. I was trying to see if you're gonna catch it, but you didn't.
There was no pun there. That was just bad English.
They looked revitalized after beating Schalke. So I think that Vitality will finish higher. I think Vitality will finish second, not because they're the clearly second best team, but just because of the schedule. But
I agree with that.
But I let you have the Schalke hype train this week, so I'll take the burn for it.
Okay.
Rossi, anything else you want to say before we close out?
No.
Are you not? See, you're all better now. Do you need me to come over and give you some tea and tuck you into bed?
I haven't been sick for like a week now.
Oh, so you lied to me.
I never lied to you. You just assumed I was still sick.
See you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you're notified when we upload every single video. Gosh, English is just escaping me today. But I'll see you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. We'll be doing this for North America and maybe Korea, but it's up to him. He might just say no and be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Shut up.
Peace.